Good evening. I'll call to order the Arvada City Council meeting for November 8th, 2021. If you'll please join me with a moment of silent reflection. And now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Kristen Rush, if you'll call to order or give the roll call of the present City Council.
Mayor Williams?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Miller?
Here.
Councilmember Pfeiffer?
Here.
Councilmember Ford?
Here.
Councilmember Jones?
Here.
Councilmember Marriott?
Here.
Councilmember Simpson?
Here.
This is always a very special night. In America, we have a system that has elections. We have a peaceful change of leadership. We have a system that respects the ballot, respects what goes on in terms of the election process. I want to take a moment and congratulate all of the candidates for all of the seats for City Council. I thought the campaigns were well run across the board, and I give my compliments, and we'll certainly congratulate the newly elected council members as they are seated. But tonight I want to take a moment and talk about our two outgoing city council members, and would invite other council members who would like to make comments to be free to make them as well. But before I do that, I want to talk about this entire city council. This is a special group. It's a group that has worked very well together. You've heard me say over time that of the other mayors I know, and I know a lot of them in the region, they're envious of what we have here in Arvada. We have a system of respect for each other. We have learned that we can disagree agreeably. We have good debate, we have good discussion, but we do it in an appropriate Arvada-like manner. And I'm so proud of each and every one of our city council. And as we seat the new council members, we will urge them and know that they will follow in the tradition of Arvada and how we work well together. We will certainly speak for our positions, but again, when we do have disagreements, we will disagree agreeably, and I look forward to that tradition carried on for many years to come in this incredible city. With that now, let me turn first to Nancy Ford. Nancy, it's been a pleasure. It's been, I remember the first time you ran and you said, "Mark, it's going to be okay." and it certainly has been. You've been a strong advocate for your positions. Certainly you've been an ardent supporter of the Arvada Center. You have brought your laughter, which we've thoroughly enjoyed. We've had our disagreements at times, but again, we've always disagreed agreeably, and that we have respected each other's opinions and how we move forward with that. So thank you very much for your service. I wish you and Jim the best as you move on into your next phase. And before you get to speak, I'll invite any council member that would like to address you at this point in time. David Jones, you're first.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Nancy, we had the privilege and honor of running our campaigns in 2015 together. We weren't running together, but that's where I got to meet you the very first time. And my first impression of you was, this is a smart woman who is passionate about a lot of stuff, especially Arvada. And I just appreciate the passion that you brought to our discussions. And sometimes they were lively. And I think to Mayor Williams' point, that's what makes us really, really good, is that we're willing to have lively conversations that ultimately end up for the best for our city. So thank you for all that you've given for the last 6 years. I'm sad to see you go, but I know you've got a great adventure ahead of you, and I wish you all the very best. So thank you for everything.
Ms. Miller.
Thank you, Your Honor. Councilmember Ford, still for a few more minutes. I am going to miss you because I know that you're going up to Wyoming, and we'll see all of these guys in Arvada still, but you're moving up to Wyoming, and I will miss you, and I'll miss your laugh. Like I told you the other night, it makes my heart smile every single time you laugh. I will miss your passion and commitment for your community right inside Lake Arbor and the Pomona parcel. I love it, and the Arvada Center and the Arts Sculpture Garden, everything that you are true to and you continue to be true to. So I'm going to miss you, but we'll get back over to the butchery and have a martini.
Mr. Fiver.
Well, I agree with my peers, but I think the big thing for me that I really appreciate, Nancy, is your advocacy for your constituency, your passion while you channel your New Jersey DNA has been refreshing. It's good. You know, some of our West Coast folks like us don't appreciate the fire that you can bring, and it makes us realize there's a perspective we need to appreciate and respect. And you've brought I always say the voice of the customer, but in this case, the voice of your constituents to the city, and that passion should never be harnessed. It should never be, contained, and continue to do so for everything you do and you believe in. Even though we may not always agree on everything, the fact that we can have those thoughtful conversations, and I'll miss them. I really miss them a lot, Nancy. So I'm jealous of your adventures ahead of you. We'll still be here online if you want to watch us on Monday nights. And we might be even referencing you a few times. So Nancy, I wish you the best in the future, and you'll be dearly missed by your community.
Ms. Simpson.
Thank you. So I had the opportunity to say something during your last meeting, but Mr. Jones reminded me of my first meeting with you. So I was a new candidate, and I was reaching out to different council members just to meet, and we met at Homegrown Tap and Dough. And I mentioned the lasagna was really good, and you go, well, let's just split it. And I'm like, I just met a council member. She's going to split lasagna with me? Okay. You were never overly formal, which I always appreciated. You were instantly a friend, and I just so much appreciate that. I'll miss the long phone calls and keeping each other company sometimes. And so just thank you for being my friend. I'll miss you. And watch out, Wyoming. She's going to be running you in like a month.
Mr. Marriott.
Thank you. So, Nancy, I'm going to take you back a little bit. I first worked with Nancy back in 2005 in Wheat Ridge on the Wheat Ridge 2020 program. It was the first place we crossed paths, and then again in about 2014 on the Citizens Capital Improvement Committee. And spent some time talking to Nancy in the parking lot, something that we have done frequently ever since, and I always appreciate that. I really appreciate how the toughness and the engaging attitude that you brought to council. I think we can all learn a lot from that. I also think that you were completely unconstrained by convention or orthodoxy, and that's one of your best qualities. I think you were of all of us up here, you brought that way more than anybody else. The thing that's most appreciative is you were so passionate about everything we did here on council. There was no phoning it in or not caring. You cared deeply about all, and I think we can all learn a lesson from that. And quite a privilege to have served with you, and this isn't the end of us interacting together. We will continue to do so, just in different venues from here on out. So thank you.
Ms. Ford, it's your turn.
Is it my turn for comments?
Yes. You have rebuttal.
Is this number 5 comments? Well, thank you, everyone. It really has been a pleasure working with you. As I thought about what I wanted to share tonight, I remembered a conversation I had with one of my students in my creative problem-solving class at Metropolitan State University. Robert had confided to me that he was thinking about going into politics. He was a good student, very likable, and motivated by affirmation. I automatically said, "Gee, Robert, politics can be pretty rough. Do you think you really want to do that?" What did I know? This guidance was based on my inexperienced opinion. The amusing thing is, by the next semester, I was running for the Arvada City Council District 1 seat. Now, if Robert was to ask me what I thought about going into politics today, I could respond to him from personal experience at the local level. This is what I would tell him. Though governance can be a rough job, the 6 years I served on City Council were some of the best years of my life so far. I have had the opportunity to collaborate with 8 unique individuals, all from different backgrounds and perspectives, who share the commonality of leadership and a desire to maintain Arvada's prosperity and reputation as a great place to live. Because of our shared experience, I will always hold a special place in my heart for my colleagues. I would inform Robert that the city employees I have been fortunate enough to work with are some of the finest I have known. While too many to mention individually, though many of them are on my left, I have to get to my place here. I found them to be generous with their time and knowledge, fun-loving, and highly dedicated professionals serving the people of Arvada daily. I would also mention that sometimes city council members are called upon to provide fun and extraordinary duties, such as being judges for contests, like pie baking, chili cook-offs, sand castles, and the event A Chocolate Affair. And I definitely love chocolate. I will also never forget the snowy day I climbed down a tall ladder to see the inside of a 5 million gallon water tank and listen to the wild-sounding echoes that can be made. Most of all, I would tell Robert that I had the pleasure of meeting and serving some of the smartest and nicest people, even in their time of angst. What a privilege it has been to listen to, converse with, and educate residents about how our local government operates and encourage them to stay engaged. I have made many friends who I will miss dearly. I sincerely thank those constituents who supported me and placed their confidence in me while on council, and for all the words, cards, and notes of appreciation I received. I wish the new council all the very best. And I thank my husband, Jim, for his patience and encouragement throughout these past 6 years. And finally, I would encourage Robert to run for office because I think he would enjoy it as much as I did.
So it's with sincere appreciation to Nancy for Councilmember District 1, 2015 to 2021, and grateful recognition of your dedication, commitment, and service to the Arvada community. Thank you. And I'll have Nancy gather her things and leave the seat vacant for a short period of time. And now we'll recognize Dot Miller. Dot Miller and I go back, how many years, Dot? It's been a few. Dot, I first got to know when she was running the Chamber of Commerce, a position that my wife had previously held in this incredible community. And Dot did a great job as our chamber exec during her time there. She's also been an amazingly successful businesswoman, and has been worked on some of my campaigns previous to her running. Had to deal with me yelling at her when I would get stressed out and frustrated over the election. Even those of us who appear to be overly confident at times show their true spirit, and I certainly did to Dot. She's been someone that I could go to talk to get input from, but mostly her cheerful disposition, her very positive outlook on life, her creative ideas, doing the little things like saying, you know, we shouldn't call our city employees staff. That sounds like an infection. Let's change the culture here and talk about the team, because it truly is a team here at the city of Arvada, and there's been no better cheerleader and champion for our city team than Dot over the years that she's been here. She's done an incredible job of that. She's been, to some extent, our social director, our wardrobe consultant, to make sure that we try to dress as well, even though she never convinced Mr. Marriott to shave his beard. It's been an incredible experience working with you, Dot, and I will certainly miss having you up here. You made the decision that being an elected official isn't necessarily all it's cracked up to be, because of sometimes the slow pace of how things go. And you've got so much ahead of you and other pursuits that you made the decision to not run for re-election, a decision that I fully understand and accept, but don't necessarily like. But with that, I'll open it up to other council members for their points. Ms. Simpson.
Thank you. Oh, Councilmember Miller, Mayor Pro Tem Miller, there we go. One last time. I just got to say, like the mayor mentioned, your attitude is always so just sparkly. Like, you're just a sparkly person, and I mean that in the best, most flattering way. I love that about you. You bring rooms up, you bring other people up, and you do that, and you fight for your convictions, you know, even when you may stand alone, as we have seen a couple of times. I still admire that very much about you. You are always strong. You're one of the strongest people I know, in fact. And I love how you think about others. I love how you think about just how everything works. And thank you so much for all that you did to help my transition onto this council. I hope to be able to wield the sparkly gavel one day. And just thank you for everything. You are a true, sparkly, amazing goddess diva, and you're awesome.
Mr. Jones.
Sparkling diva. Wow. I don't know if I can compete with that, but the first time I was introduced to Dot, it actually was through an email that she sent me at my place of business. And Dot, if you know Dot, she's always assuming the sale. There's never a question in her mind that she's not going to get something done or the deal done. I don't even know if you remember this, but she was raising money for something, but I believe you were at the chamber at the time, so it was probably something at the chamber. And she said, "Hi, David Jones, I'm Dot Miller, and I'm doing this, that, and the other, and I'd like to ask your company to donate $1,000 to this event, and oh, by the way, Mr. So-and-so, who was someone well-known in the community that I really respected, has agreed to do that as well." Thank you very much. If you have any questions here. And I thought, wow, this is a pushy woman. And then she announced her candidacy for the at-large position and sent me another email and said, "Hello, Mr. Jones, Dot Miller, I'm running for city council. I'd like to meet you on this day at this time." Thinking, okay. So anyway, she comes to my office and she sits down and then proceeds to tell me all of the things that she wants to do as a member of Arvada City Council. And I think that over the last 4 years, I should have taken better notes, but I think you did all of them. And, you know, Dot, you are, as other council members will say, you're convicted, and you're please don't take this the wrong way, but you're like a dog on a bone. And when that bone's in your grasp, you're not letting go until it gets done. And I think that's why you've been as successful as you are, not just here on city council, but in your professional career and in your life, just your life's dreams and desires. I'm going to miss you. It's fun. During dinner, we sit across the table from each other, and there's just silliness that happens. And I appreciate the silliness that you bring to council, because you help keep it lighthearted and not so serious. And so, again, I hope that you have a fabulous whatever next is for you, and I know that you'll continue to fight for Arvada, and I know that you won't be quiet, and that you'll continue to be in our ears about things that need to be done. So appreciate that about you, and wish you all the best.
Mr. Pfeiffer.
Well, I can't add much more, but let's just go through a little history. So I made the decision a month before the recession to open up a toy store. And then a month later, after the recession, I opened the toy store. I was already committed. But I remember you brought the biggest crowd to my grand opening as the chamber president. And I think that's where I met Mr. McGough for the first time, and several great community members. And mayor was Bob Free at the time. And it was a remarkable thing to try to protect your businesses. I mean, you felt really connected to and passionate for what you were doing. And I think even when I was the president of HODA, we've locked horns on a few things, but we both were passionate for what we believed in. And we believed in the businesses, and we believed in the community. But then we fast forward, and then you were coming on council. I was ecstatic that you were coming on council. And, everyone's using the words I want to use to describe you, but I thought of one as always conviction. You took that citizen survey to heart, and you took the voice of the customer, voice of the constituent seriously. And you've changed culturally what we do here at the city. And, if I was to paraphrase you, I think it would be more of, why can't we or why not? That's all you would say is, why can't we or why not? There was never no doubt in your mind that it couldn't happen. I think the only frustration, which I agree with you, is it takes too long. But it doesn't seem like it wouldn't happen. It just takes time. And you've put a huge footprint onto the city, and we'll miss you. So I'm sure you will have you for a few more years. And just like I told Nancy, we're here on Monday nights, Channel 8, arvada.org, soon to be Gov.
And now Apple TV. Mr. Marriott.
Thank you, Your Honor. So Dot and I first met also in Wheat Ridge at a Wheat Ridge Business Association breakfast, and a mutual friend of ours, Loretta DeTuro, introduced us. And you can't ever meet Dot for the first time without remembering that. That's quite memorable. I've never seen somebody so full of energy and enthusiasm and ability to get stuff done. Next, we interacted when you were the chamber president, particularly when I was running for my first term in 2013. And Dot, you were a huge help. Certainly would not have won without your help and your support, and I appreciate it to this day. Lately, since you've been on council, you've been the best ever at splitting desserts with me. Dot at dinner, Dot and I always have at least 3 to split between the two of us, sometimes 4. But particularly when you're on council, I really appreciate all the skills that you've brought. You certainly have brought skills that I know myself doesn't have, and that was really needed with the council. It goes without saying the energy and enthusiasm that you bring not only to this council but to everything you do. I really appreciate the toughness that you've had to stand your ground and do what you think should be done. And like Bob said, you have brought lasting change to this council. This will go on long after you're no longer sitting here. I don't believe we'll ever call them the city staff ever again. They are our team from here on out, and that's a lasting change you brought, amongst many other things. The most important thing, though, is I think you always had the interests of our citizens in mind. always and every time in every decision. And I think that's what really sets apart the best council members. And you've had that in spades. And I appreciate having served with you. I've learned a ton from you, and I will continue to learn from you as we go along. And while you will no longer be sitting up here, I will be seeing you frequently and look forward to each and every time. So thank you for serving with me.
Ms. Miller.
Thank you, Your Honor. I love you guys. Like, seriously, I do. Every single one of you. All of you. I wish our 700 could be here. I wish our 700A team could be here. I love them. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve the Arvada community. Thank you so much to my husband, Ranger, and my nephew, EJ, for all of their support during my past 4 years. This council position is a time commitment away from family every single week. The time commitment and the work that goes into leading such an incredible city is sometimes humbling, sometimes overwhelming, and always fulfilling. During the 4 years I've served on this council, we have done some stuff that I really feel will have a lasting impact on Arvada. Some of the things that pop to mind are things that will have a lasting impact on law enforcement. We hired the first woman city attorney in Arvada's history. We hired the first woman court municipal judge in Arvada's history. We hired a great new police chief. We instituted the use of mental health professionals to respond to with our police officers to better meet the demands of a changing world. We added officers to the police community outreach, resource, and enforcement, the core team, to improve our response to homelessness. We faced a worldwide pandemic. So we used the emergency powers granted to the city manager and the ingenuity of our team to continue council meetings throughout the pandemic. We came up with a solution to let our constituents appear via Zoom or to call in to participate in a meeting. This was actually a silver lining from a very challenging time, as we will continue to use this process to make it easier for our citizens to participate in the process. We kept Arvada moving into the future by updating the Land Development Code, approving transportation projects that include Rawson Road, 72nd Avenue, new intersection at 72nd in Indiana, opening the light rail, and creating a pedestrian mall in Old Town Arvada. Two things that are very near and dear to my heart. We created the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Task Force. And finally, we brought organized waste hauling to Arvada. Thank you to the mayor and my fellow council members. It has been so fun serving with you. And I will miss you on Monday nights. Not sure about watching online, Councilmember Pfeiffer, but I know that Mark McGough still does. We have 7 completely different personalities on this council with 7 very different opinions on how things should be done. We often disagree, and as the mayor said, sometimes very passionately, but always we disagree agreeably. We all believe in this system, and we know that each one of us has the best interest of our constituents and our city in mind. I am proud to have been part of this amazing process. I really feel that this country at large and a few of our constituents could really learn from the way we operate. I am going to miss every single one of you.
Quintessential.Miller. Which way are you going? Okay, now that we got the drudgery done, we can move on to the fun part of the evening. I would call Randy Moorman, newly elected Councilmember District 1, to the microphone along with our Chief Judge for the swearing in. And Randy's being joined by his husband.
Will you please raise your right hand? I, Randy Moorman,
I, Randy Moorman,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the laws of the State of Colorado,
and the laws of the State of Colorado,
and will faithfully perform the duties
and will faithfully perform the duties
of the office of Council Member, District 1,
of the office of Council Member District 1
for the City of Arvada,
for the City of Arvada,
upon which I'm about to enter,
upon which I'm about to enter,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Yes.
Very good, Mr. Moorman. Congratulations. Come take your seat. Next, we'll call on John Marriott.
All right, Mr. Marriott, please raise your right hand. I, John Marriott,
I, John Marriott,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the laws of the State of Colorado,
and the laws of the State of Colorado,
and will faithfully perform the duties
and will faithfully perform the duties
of the office of Council Member,
of the office of Council Member,
District 3,
District 3,
for the City of Arvada,
for the City of Arvada,
upon which I am about to enter,
upon which I'm about to enter,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep.
And now we'll call Lisa Smith, Council Member at Large, joined by her husband Eli.
Good evening. Come on up. Thank you. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Lisa Smith,
I, Lisa Smith,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the laws of the State of Colorado,
and the laws of the State of Colorado,
and will faithfully perform the duties
and will faithfully perform the duties
of the office of Council Member at Large
of the office of Council Member at Large
for the City of Arvada,
for the City of Arvada,
upon which I'm about to enter,
upon which I am about to enter,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now do the roll call of the new council members. This is always tough because it's a change, right, Ms. Rush?
Yes. Mayor Williams,
Here.
Councilmember Pfeiffer,
Ooh, used to be number 2 here.
Councilmember Jones,
Here.
Councilmember Marriott,
Here.
Councilmember Moorman,
Here.
Councilmember Simpson,
Here.
Councilmember Smith.
Here.
So now we get to have comments from the newly electeds. Mr. Moorman?
Thank you, Mayor. It is quite an honor to be up here tonight representing District 1, and I have the utmost respect for all of you and your commitment to public service. I think Councilmember Smith shares my sentiment that we have some big shoes to fill. Thank you, Nancy and Dot, for all you have done for our great city. I decided to run for city council because I'm extremely grateful to my community that has been there for Scott, our son Joey, and me. I want to give back. That same community helped me get here today. And thank you to everyone who supported my campaign, including my neighbors, my church community, friends, family, and my mom. And thank you, Scott. Your unending love and willingness to take this journey with me, I just could not have done it without you. And I think you are happy now that our dining room table is back to normal and cleared of all campaign materials. I will get to the other rooms later. But I want to start by saying Arvada is a special place. It is a great community of diverse people. And I am really, truly humbled to be here today with this opportunity to serve with you all. And I'm really excited to get to work. I will listen to all Arvadans, no matter who they voted for. As I heard from so many District 1 residents this summer, Arvadans want to be more engaged in the work of our city, especially when it comes to decisions that affect their neighborhoods. I want to find more ways to include our residents in development decisions. I am dedicated to bringing people together to find the right solutions for our great city. And I'm looking forward to working with my fellow council members to address our biggest challenges: repairing our roads and sidewalks, updating our water and sewer infrastructure, increasing accessibility for all our residents regardless of their abilities, and addressing climate change and planning for a sustainable future for us and our kids. Thank you, District 1 residents, from the bottom of my heart for electing me, and thank you, fellow council members, for your warm welcome. Oh, I got one more thing, sorry. Gandhi said the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. I have been learning that lifelong lesson for most of my adult life. When I left college, I went with my church to serve others in Nicaragua as a missionary. As a teacher, I shared my passion for science with my students. And in my day job, I work to find ways to improve our economy by developing recycling markets that create jobs for Coloradans. I have found serving others provides a source of meaning to life. May our work together as City Council be a great service to the residents of Arvadans. Thank you.
Mr. Marriott.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I want to start by thanking a few people here. I want to start with the city team. I have had the distinct privilege of being here for 8 years, and at every aspect, at every turn, you guys have been the best colleagues to interact with, always being willing to answer questions, be available, offer advice, and I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to the next 4 years of continued interactions. I also want to thank the people who helped me get elected. Dot Miller, who's in the audience, could not have done it without you, and certainly would not have been successful without your help and your support. I'd also like to thank Nina Sloan, who isn't here tonight, but Nina was instrumental in helping me in my campaign. John and Laura Thompson as well, my great neighbors down the street who provided all kinds of help and support, and especially Catherine Coogan, who helped me walk to 4,000 households. Again, could not have done it without her help and support. I'd like to also thank my family, my children, Jack and Sarah, who have given me the time and the space to do this, as well as all the unsolicited advice I could listen to. My mom and dad, who are longtime Arvada residents, also have given me tons of support over this. And most importantly, my team at Larson Ski and Sport, who again covered for me for all the time that it takes to run for this office. But mostly I want to thank the residents of Arvada. I'd like to thank you for putting your trust in me again. Thank you for your support, not only in this election, but in my previous 2 terms and in the everyday interactions that I have with you. This is truly the best place in the world. I have had great success and have had a great life because of where I grew up, and it's all the residents of Arvada who made it that way. So thank you all. I really appreciate being here and can't wait to continue serving for the next 4 years.
Ms. Smith.
All right. Can you hear me all right?
Mm-hmm.
You good over there? Thank you to everyone who has made this possible. If you asked me 5 years ago if I thought I would run for office, I never, ever would have guessed that would happen. And because of people in this room, my husband, as of August, all of the council members that have taken the time to have lunch, have a drink, meet with me, tell stories, good and bad, this team, the team of Arvada, I just really appreciated all of your time and your insight. The volunteers, the family, the friends that came out that have never even done anything political was so motivating. Over 50% of our team was brand new to any sort of local politics or politics at all. That is encouraging to see younger people stepping up and advocating and being a part of the community. I hope to continue to bring that positive energy and that inclusiveness to Arvada, to the campaigns, to future candidates. It is not easy to run. I have learned a ton about myself, about other people, and I hope to continue to encourage and empower people to run for office and be engaged in the community. I want to thank my parents. Both of them flew out and helped. My mother, who is from Argentina, helped with all of the Spanish outreach, which was amazing. A lot of people didn't even know there was elections going on, so it was really encouraging to see that engagement. And I also just want to say how excited I am to work on this team. Everyone was so kind to me, even as a candidate. I can't wait to work and solve some of our most complex problems together. So I'm ready to get to work, and thank you for believing in me, Arvada.
For the new members of council, we try to make the first evening as easy as possible with only one tough decision to have to make besides what you're going to have for refreshments downstairs. We elect at the first meeting the Mayor Pro Tem, and our procedure over the years has been mixed. For many years, we had one council member who served for a long period of time, and that was Lorraine Anderson, served as Mayor Pro Tem for a very lengthy period of time. After her service as Mayor Pro Tem, we started thinking that maybe it would be a good idea to rotate it on a 2-year basis, and that has worked quite well for us over the years. And so my job as mayor is to ask each member of the newly elected and sitting council if they want to be considered for the Mayor Pro Tem position. This year, the only individual who has indicated a desire to have their name put into consideration is David Jones. So I would entertain a motion to nominate David Jones and close further nominations. I have Mr. Marriott got the first button pushed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to nominate David Jones for Mayor Pro Tem and close any other further nominations.
You may vote. And for the new council members, I'll tell you when to use your yes or no button. All votes are cast. That's a unanimous vote, 7-0. So Mr. Jones, you are officially elected as the Mayor Pro Tem for the city of Arvada. Would you like to have any family members join you for the swearing in?
Mr. Jones, will you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, David Jones,
I, David Jones,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the laws of the State of Colorado,
and the laws of the State of Colorado,
and will faithfully perform
and will faithfully perform
the duties of Office of Mayor Pro Tem
the duties of office Mayor Pro Tem
for the city of Arvada,
for the city of Arvada,
upon which I'm about to enter,
upon which I'm about to enter,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. I was told to give you this.
Thank you, Dot.
I expect him to use it too when he's up here covering for you, Mayor.
Mine's horrible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Jones, although it doesn't indicate it on the agenda, would you like to say anything?
Power.
Sparkly
Power
diva
of the
power.
gavel. No, thank you to my fellow council members and to the mayor for the opportunity to serve in this capacity, and I will do as I made an oath to the best of my ability. I look forward to working with all of you.
Very good. With that, we have no further business to come before us tonight. I would declare us adjourned and invite everyone to come down to the lower level for a reception. We are adjourned.